Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So welcome to Shri Radha Govinda Temple. Today is the beginning of the weekend. A lot of people are planning to go for Thanksgiving, and that's why we had a special ceremony Saturday morning. We just finished that, so sorry for a few minutes delay. But without fail, we will be doing the 6th day of Bhagavad-saptāha. Tomorrow is going to be the last day of Saptāha, and I'm sure we all miss you, and you may miss Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. We have exhibited here all the books that Srila Prabhupada has translated. Right behind me also all these ISKCON books which are given to us by Srila Prabhupada, with translations and purports. We have big library upstairs. Only in 11 years he was able to give us all this knowledge that's possible. So without further delay, let us start the program. Jaya Radha Madhava Nikuñja-bihārī, Jaya Radha Madhava Nikuñja-bihārī, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari, Jashodanandan Vraj Jan Ranjan, Jashodanandan Vraj Jan Ranjan, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Nikuñja-bihārī, Jaya Radha Madhava Nikuñja-bihārī. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmati Radha Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Śrīmati Gauragovinda Swamiti Namine. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Sarasdevam Gauravani Pacharini Visheshanivadi Paschata Deshadhari. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes. With the torch of knowledge, I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. When will Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhupada, who has established within this material world the mission to fulfill the desire of Lord Chaitanya, give me shelter under his lotus feet? Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utpada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master and unto the feet of all Vaishnavas. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami along with his elder brother Sanatan Goswami, as well as Raghunath Das and Raghunath Bhatt, Gopal Bhatt and Sri Jiva Goswami. I offer my respectful obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda along with Advaita Acharya Gadadhar, Srivas and other associates. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani and Sri Krishna along with their associates Sri Lalita and Vishakha. Hey Krishna, Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandho Jagatpate, Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute. O my dear Krishna, ocean of mercy, you are the friend of distress and the source of creation. You are the master of the cowherd man and lover of the gopis, especially Srimati Radharani. I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Tapta Kancana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrushabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Prem. I offer my respectful obeisances to Srimati Radharani, whose bodily complexion is like molten gold, and who is the queen of Vrindavan. You are the daughter of King Vrishabhanu, and you are very dear to Lord Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha krupa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. I offer my respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They can fulfill the desires of everyone, just like desired trees, and they are full of compassion for the fallen souls. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. I offer my obeisances to Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas and all others in the line of devotion. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. I meditate upon that pure and spotless supreme absolute truth, who is free from suffering and death, and who is in beginning, personally reveal this incomparable torchlight of knowledge to Lord Sri Brahma. Lord Sri Brahma then revealed it to Narada, and Narada revealed it to Maharishi Vedvyas. Maharishi Vedvyas revealed it to Shuka Goswami, and finally Shuka Goswami is narrating this beautiful Bhagavatam that you see next to me to Parikshit Maharaj. So there is a lot to learn about Sri Krishna from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet. Before reciting this Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Naranarayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, and goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naisthaki. By regularly listening Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. And loving service unto the personality of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. Nigam kalpataro galitam phalam shukmukhad mukhadrabha sanyudam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam Muhuraho rasika bhuvi bhavuka. O expert and thoughtful man, relish Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, the mature fruit of the desire of tree, of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Shukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful, although it is nectarian juice was already relishable for all, including liberated souls. When we look at Sri Radha Govinda today, it reminds me to quote a beautiful verse from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. And it describes how at different places Krishna is anointed sandalwood paste. Lalate keshavam dhyayena narayana athodare vakshasthale madhavam tu govinda kanthakupage vishnum cha dakshine kuksho baho cha madhusudanam Trivikram kandaretu vamanam vama parshake Sridharam vama bhavetu Rushikesham cha kandare Prustestu madhya nabham cha kathyam damodaram nyasetu. He has put the sandalwood paste over the forehead, over the stomach, chest, neck, right side, right hand, right shoulder, left side, left hand, left shoulder, upper back and lower back. And if you see on his chest, there is a wonderful diamond which actually came out from the ocean. From churning the ocean, this particular diamond came out. and Krishna has on his chest. If you see at nose, he is wearing a nose ring, and on which there is a beautiful pearl that came out from the ocean. If you see his hands, they are decorated with beautiful bangles. Even the legs is wearing bangles. Kankanam, we call it, because when he walks, then it makes sound. Venu is holding a beautiful flute. And over the neck he is wearing the Vaijayanti Mala, the garland which is made out of 5 types of flowers. And he himself is like a Chudamani. Means we just talk about a touchstone which can touch you and turn you. If you are like a regular metal, it can turn you into gold. And is Gopal. He is ready to go with his cows. So the beautiful verse is mentioned here. Kasturi Tilakam lalat patale Vakshasthale Kaustubam Nasagre Varamoktikam Karatale Venu Kare Kankanam Sarvange Harichandanam Sulalitam Kanthe Chamuktavali Gopastri Parivestita Vijayate Gopal Chudamani. We'll be reading about Lord Sri Krishna in details. We just meditated on form of Lord Sri Krishna so far to get his blessings. Yesterday we already talked about his birth of Krishna, advent of Krishna. And we learned that Lord Sri Krishna appeared and the parents were really surprised to see his four-handed form. And Lord Sri Krishna made it clear in their hearts and said to Vasudeva and Devaki, Yuvama putra bhavena Brahma bhavena chaskruta Chintayanto krutasneho Yasyete madgatim para. He said, both of you, husband and wife, my parents, should constantly think of me as your son. But at the same time, you must know that I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna. By constantly thinking of me, you will achieve the highest perfection of life by going back back to Godhead. This is not just the instructions to Vasudeva and Devaki. This was, although spoken to Vasudeva and Devaki, Krishna also meant that if we meditate on Lord, we accept Him as a Supreme Personality Godhead. If we surrender Him, then we will achieve the highest perfection of life by going back to Godhead. Devaki wanted the Lord to transform Himself into the human child, thinking that if He remains in His Vishnu form, none of her neighbors would believe that He was her child. The Lord was also anxious, thinking that if He appeared as an ordinary child, Devaki would not believe Him to be Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such are the dealings between devotees and a Supreme Lord. Then, by His internal potency, He transferred Himself into the small human child, or in other words, into His original form of Krishna. From within, Krishna inspired Vasudeva to pick Him up and take Him to Vrindavan. River Yamuna allowed Vasudeva to cross. He easily placed his son on Yashoda's bed and picked up her daughter, who was an expansion of Yogamaya. Thereafter, he returned to Kansa's prison. Bahirantah puradvara sarva purvavadavruta tato balatvanim shrutva gurupala sumusthita. Every verse that we are reading, Srila Prabhupada has given word-to-word translation, general translations and the purports. So this verse says, after the palace doors were again locked automatically, the watchman awoke upon hearing the crying of a newborn child. Kansa quickly went to the prison. Being the daughter of Kshatriya, Devaki knew very well how to act diplomatically, and yet, even though she cried very piteously, while embracing her child, Kansa was so cruel that he rebuked her as he forcibly grabbed the baby from her hands. While on his knees, Kansa held the baby on the legs and then attempted to dash her against the stone floor. The child Yogamaya, the younger sister of Lord Vishnu, slipped out of Kansa's hands and rose up in the sky. Kim maya hataya mandajata khaluta vanta kruta yatra kvava purva shatrurma hinsi krupanana vrutha. While being praised by celestial beings who worshipped Yogamaya with various articles, she said, "O Kansa, you fool! What is the use in killing me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has been your enemy from the beginning and who will certainly kill you, has already been born somewhere else. You should therefore not necessarily kill other children." At this moment, feeling very guilty, Kansa, he immediately went and released Vasudeva and Devaki from the shackles. Evametanma bhaga yathavadasi dehinam Ajnana prabhavahandi swapareti vidayata. When Devaki saw that her brother was actually repentant, while explaining the nature of ordained events, she became revealed of her anger. Mulam hi Vishnu devanam yatra dharma sanatanam tasya ja brahma govi prastapo yagna sadakshina. The foundation of all the demigods is Lord Vishnu, who lives wherever sacrifices are performed. Therefore, Kansa thought Brahmanas, cows who supply ghee for the sacrifice, and sacrifices are the limbs of Lord Vishnu's body. So, Kansa's advisors advise him, O king, we are all your followers, and so we shall kill all the Brahmanas and cows, for this is a means for killing Lord Vishnu. After hearing this from his demoniac ministers, Kansa, who was all bad intelligence, being himself a demon, decided to persecute all saintly persons. Over here, after learning that a male child has been born to Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj jubilantly bathed and dressed, and they called for the learned Brahmanas to perform the birth ceremony, which is known as a Jata Karma ceremony. The Brahmanas came and recited Vedic mantras, which purified the environment by the vibration. Saumangala giro vipra sutama gadavandina gayascha kajadurnedur bheryo dundirvayom. This is a part of a Nanda Mahotsava. So, the cowherd men dressed themselves very opulently with coats and turbans, and decorated themselves with valuable ornaments. Carrying representation in their hands, they came to Nanda Maharaj's house. In a great happiness, the cowherd men enjoyed the Nandotsav festival by splashing one another with a mixture of yogurt, condensed milk, butter, and water. This is the way they enjoy Nandotsav. I have personally witnessed right after, next day after Janmashtami, in Radha Govinda temple in Vrindavan, and they were playing Holi with splashing one another, mixture of yogurt, condensed milk, butter and water. And they will also color themselves to enjoy this particular pastime of Lord Sri Krishna when he was born in a house of Nanda Maharaj. Gopana Gokul Rakshayam Nirupya Mathurangata Nanda Kansasya Varshikyam Karam Datum Kurutvaha. Thereafter, Nanda Maharaj appointed some of the cowherd men look after Gokula, and then he went to Mathura so that he could pay the yearly taxes to King Kamsa. So now Nanda Maharaj went, and over there they had a meeting with Vasudeva and Devaki. Nunam ni adrashanisto adrascha paramo jana, adrascha atmanam tattvam, yo vedena cha muhyati. Nanda Maharaj said to Vasudeva, King Kamsa killed so many of your children, and your daughter went up to the heavenly planets. Everyone is certainly controlled by destiny, which gives us the results of our future activities. Based on our karma, we get the children, and we also lose the children sometimes. Nanda Maharaj took permission from Vasudeva, and then along with the associates, the cowherd man yoked the bulls to their carts and departed for Gokula. So their short visit to Mathura just to pay the taxes to Kansa. And now we go to the next part. Nanda pati vacha shauryena mrusheti vichitinchayam haring jagam sharanam utpatagamam shakti. As Nanda Maharaj was returning home, the fierce Rakshasi Putana, who had been ordered by Kansa to kill babies, was wandering throughout the towns and villages. Without asking permission, she entered Nanda Maharaj's house, where she saw baby Krishna sleeping on a bed. Lord Shri Krishna could understand that Putna had come to kill him. Putna picked up the baby and placed him upon her lap. Sa muncha munchalamiti prabhashini nishpadyamana khiljumarmani. Putna pushed her breast into Krishna's mouth. Her nipples were smeared with a strong poison that was immediately effective, and Krishna became very angry with her because she had killed so many small children in Vrajabhumi. Taking hold of Putna's breast, Krishna squeezed it very tightly with both the hands, and then sucked out both the poison and her life. Vivrutya netre charano bhujo muhu prasvidnas grata kshipati surodaha. Feeling pain, Putna cried out, "Please leave me, leave me. Suck my breast no longer." Her eyes were wide open, and she was perspiring profusely, while her arms and her legs flayed out. Indeed, as Putna screamed loudly, the earth with all its mountains, as well as outer space with its planets, and the lower planets as well as trembled. People were seen falling down, fearing that thunderbolts were going to strike them. In this way, Putna lost her life. Her mouth opened, and her hair, arms, and legs spread. She fell down in the posturing ground in her original form as a Rakshasi. Without fear, child Krishna was playing on the upper portion of Putna's breast, and when the gopis saw this, they quickly came and picked him up, overjoyed that he was safe and sound. So, like yesterday also we mentioned that Krishna is not actually killing. When our soul is trapped in a demon's body, then we act as a demon naturally. But Krishna wants to help us, and he is just relieving us from that particular body. Out of 8,400,000 species of life, one of them is to become a demon. So you saw that Krishna sucked the life air out of Putna's body, but at the same time, she went back to Godhead. She was delivered instantly. The reason is given is because who is feeding you? The breastfeeding is done only by the mother. No other mother will feed you. So Putna was actually acting like a mother when she was trying to feed Krishna. Although the intention was not to feed him, the intention was to kill him. But anyway, after all, she was playing part of a mother and considering that she is my mother, Krishna sent her back to Godhead. Kadachidothanika kautukaple janmarkshayoge samatayoshitam Vaditragita dvijamantravachakye Shvakara Sinoshivchidari. When baby Krishna was propping up his body, attempting to rise and turn around, it was time to observe the Utthana ceremony. This is also the time when the child is supposed to leave the house for the first time. Just after Krishna became 3 months old, Mother Yashoda celebrated this ceremony with other neighbors' women. On that day, the moon was in the constellation Rohini. Adashyanasya shironaro kalpaka vidvastanana rasakupya bhajanam pravan mrudandri antivraktam Vyasyasya chakrash vibhinna kubaram. There was a ghost named Shaktasura who was taken shelter of the hand cart under which Krishna had been placed to sleep. And he was looking for the opportunity to do mischief to the child. Actually, this hand cart was another form of Shaktasura himself. Now, on the plea of demanding to suck his mother's breast, baby Krishna angrily kicked his legs upward with the intention of killing the demon. Although Krishna's little legs were as soft as leaves, when he struck the cart with them, it violently turned over and collapsed. The wheels separated from the axle. The hubs and spokes fell apart, and a pole of the hand cart broke. On the hand cart were many utensils made of metal, and they scattered here and there, making a loud noise. At this time, some of the children claimed that the crying baby Krishna had smashed the cart. They said that as soon as Krishna kicked the wheel, the whole cart collapsed. The Gopas and Gopis, being unaware of Krishna's unlimited prowess, could not believe this, and so they dismissed this statement as a childish nonsense. Fearing that some evil planet had attacked Krishna, Mother Yashoda quickly picked up her child and allowed him to suck her breast. So, Krishna actually delivered Shaktasura, who was trapped not only as a cart, but also as a demon who tried to kill Krishna. Just by kicking the cart, Krishna was able to take care of Shaktasura. And he went back to Godhead. So this is another deliverance, just like we had seen Putnas. One day, a demon named Trinavarta, a servant of Krishna, then came in the form of a whirlwind, and by employing the Mahima Siddhi, he very easily carried Krishna up into the air. Yesterday only we talked about Anima, Mahima, Girima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakyama, Ishita, Vashita. These are the 8 kinds of siddhis, we call it, achievements in a yoga system. So, what happens that this is the kind of achievement in yoga siddhi that you can become very light, and then you can start flying in the air like a whirlwind, go anywhere you want. And believe it or no, the wind has a lot of potency, a lot of strength, and it can carry anything with it to a long distance up in the sky. So a demon named Trinavarta, a servant of Kansa, in the form of whirlwind, and by employing the Mahima Siddhi, he very easily carried Krishna up into the air. Meanwhile, as Trinavarta rose higher and higher into the sky, baby Krishna Yogeshwara became very heavy, forcing the demon to stop his ascent. So, this was the Yoga Shakti with Trinavarta. So, out of those Ashtasiddhi, the 8 achievements of yoga, Trinavarta was using Manima Siddhi. But there are also other achievements Krishna knew, because he himself is a Yogeshwar. He is the one who gave us all the yogas. So no wonder, besides Manima, he knew Anima, Mahima, Girima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakyami, Ishita, Vashita, all those siddhis he had achieved. And that's why he became very, very heavy. And when you become very heavy in the wind, in the air, what happens? You start coming down. So Krishna started coming down along with Trinavarta. Trinavarta could not take Krishna anymore because it was not the same weight that he calculated. Krishna became 1,000 times heavier than what he was. And then he grabbed Trinavarta's neck, and then the bow started coming down. Then the Krishna continued grasping him by the throat. Trinavarta choked, being unable to make any sound or move his limbs. With his eye popping out, the demon lost his life and fell, along with the child Krishna, down to the ground of Raja. While the gopis were crying due to Krishna's absence, they saw Trinavarta land upon a big slab of stone that smashed him and smashed his limbs. And so they quickly ran and picked up Krishna, who was happily playing on the demon's broad chest. The gopis relieved Krishna to arms of Mother Yashoda, and because he was unhurt and free of all dangers, the cowherd man and women were extremely happy. So, again, Krishna's business was to relieve and help the poor souls who were trapped in a form of a demon. And they were associates of Kansa. Kansa used to send them to kill Krishna. One day, while Krishna was playing with Balaram and his other playmates, the sons of Gopas. They all went and accompanied to Mother Yashoda. Mother, they said, Krishna has eaten dirt. Lord Krishna replied, my dear mother, I have not eaten dirt. My friends are all lying. They have plotted together just so that you will punish me. And my elder brother Balaram has joined them. If you think that I am lying, then look in my mouth and see. Krishna opened his mouth, and without disturbing his mother's natural maternal affection, he displayed his opulence. Within Krishna's mouth, Mother Yashoda saw all the moving and non-moving entities, outer space and all directions, including the mountains, oceans and islands on the surface of the earth. She saw the planetary systems and the process of creation. She saw the senses, mind and the three modes of material nature. She saw the time allotted for living entities, as well as the natural instincts and the reactions of karma. Indian Mother Yashoda saw herself in the Vrindavan taking Krishna upon her lap, and while seeing all this, she became confused about the nature of her son. She could not believe what she was witnessing in the mouth of little Krishna. Mother Yashoda wondered, is this a dream, or is it an illusion created by external energy? Has this version or the vision been created out of my own mind, or is this all due to some mystic power of my child? Thus she concluded that her son had mystic power, as predicted by Garga Muni. So what happens in our culture and religion, usually when you have a son or daughter, you go to Jyotishi, who is astrologer, and is plotting the charts. And according to the charts, birth charts that is plotting, it could be said what kind of powers the child possesses, how long the child is going to live, how successful he will be with his missions in his life, all that can be said. So, Garga Muni, who plotted and predicted the birth charts of Krishna, said that the son will have mystic power. So, Mother Yashoda, when he saw all the planets, Shukra, Chandra, Mangala, Rahu, Shani, Ketu, Guru, Budh, all the planetary systems, not only one planetary systems, but so many other planetary systems, 14 planetary systems, he was able to see in the mouth of Krishna. So this is like another pastime proving that Krishna is the supreme birthright of Godhead. Now, this particular month is a Damodar month. And on the altar we have picture of Mother Yashoda and Krishna. And there is a mortar where Krishna is bound by a rope by Mother Yashoda, because Krishna was very naughty and he broke the pot of milk, yogurt, butter, and that's why Mother Yashoda decided to punish him. So this particular pastime happened, it took place on the Deepavali day. Among all Nand Maharaj's cows, Yashoda kept several that ate only special grass that would flavor the milk to make it very tasty. Mother Yashoda personally churned the yogurt from this milk into butter. So while she was doing this, Krishna picked up a stone and broke the pot of yogurt. Right? So what happens? He then went to nearby room and began to eat all the freshly churned butter in that solitary place. After taking the milk off the stove, when Mother Yashoda returned to finish her churning, she saw that the pot of yogurt was broken and Krishna was not there. Thus she naturally concluded that it was Krishna who had performed this mischief. And she smiled and thinking how he had fled in fear of punishment. He said, I don't see Krishna here anymore because now he's afraid of me, that I am going to punish him. Krishna could see his mother coming stick in hand, and so he quickly got down from the mortar and ran. Yashoda caught Krishna by hand and he admitted that he had been an offender. Mother Yashoda said, I am going to tie you up so that you cannot commit any more offenses. When Mother Yashoda tried to bind Krishna, she found that the rope was 2 fingers width, too short. Mother Yashoda brought another rope and joined it with the first. But once again, when she tried to tie the knot, it was still 2 fingers width short. Indeed, again and again, she brought more ropes, and each time and every time she joined them, they were too short. Finally, there was no more rope remaining in the house, and all the neighbors' ladies were gathered there watching the fun. Even Mother Yashoda was smiling, for everyone was truly astonished. Because of her hard labor, Yashoda's body was covered with perspiration. When child Krishna saw that his mother had become so tired, he became merciful and agreed to be bound. This is an attitude of Supreme Lord. Even though he is the supreme controller of entire universe, he still comes under the control of his devotees. After binding Krishna to the grinding mortar, Mother Yashoda returned to her household affairs. So then Maharaja Parikshit wanted to know what abominable things the sons of Kuvera did which made Narada too angry and curse. So this is again a story of Kubera's sons, and who were enjoying the water sports naked and didn't care presence of Narad Muni. So they were cursed to become trees in the courtyard of Nanda Maharaj. And that is why these 2 trees were there. And when Krishna was tied to the mortar, Krishna started dragging the mortar towards those 2 trees. The intention behind is not to make any damage to the property and the trees, but to deliver those Kuvera's son. And so here it says, Lord Krishna began slowly dragging the wooden grinding mortar to which he was bound. And while going, he said, although I have nothing to do with these sons of Kuvera, Devarshi Narada is my very dear devotee. Because he wanted me to come face to face with them, I must do so for their deliverance. So, saintly people like Narada are very merciful. They may curse you, but at the same time, they will give you blessings at the same time. That, don't worry, because you broke the law, you are cursed. But someday you will have darshan of Lord Shri Krishna face to face. So, Krishna entered between 2 Arjuna trees. making the big mortar turn sideways and become stuck. With the rope tied around his belly, Krishna began to pull with such great force that the two trees became uprooted and fell to ground with a great crashing sound. Immediately, two effulgent personalities came out from the trees, illuminating all directions. Bowing their heads, they offered obeisances to Krishna, and with folded hands they said, "My dear Lord, you are the supreme controller, and it is you who exist before creation. Therefore, who trapped inside the body of material qualities in the world can understand you. We simply offer our respectful obeisances unto you. Instead of trying to understand Krishna in detail, it is better to offer our respectful obeisances." The sons of Kuvera circumambulated Lord Krishna and offered obeisances, and after taking his permission, they departed. So, every evening, throughout the whole month, we offer a ghee lamp and enjoy and celebrate Damodar month. So that's why we have picture of Lord Damodar, Mother Yashoda, and if you come here at certain time, you will be able to attend the ceremony of offering a ghee lamp. Now, one day a woman selling fruit called out, "If anyone wants to purchase some fruit, come here." Upon hearing this, Krishna took some grain in his hands and went to barter with fruit vendor. But as Krishna hastily went, most of the grains fell from his hands through his fingers. Nonetheless, the fruit vendor filled Krishna's hands with fruit, and as a result of this devotional service, her basket immediately became filled with jewels and gold. So Krishna is so merciful. He was partaking little fist of grain, and in return, looking at devotional service by the fruit vendor, he filled her basket with gold and silvers and diamonds and pearls. So Krishna is very much merciful. Now we go to the next part. One day Krishna decided to go to the forest early in the morning so that he could enjoy breakfast picnic. By blowing his bugle made from a buffalo horn, Krishna woke up the cowherd boys and cows with his beautiful sound. Keeping the cows in the front, Krishna and the cowherd boys went out the village and entered the forest. Indeed, each of Krishna's thousands of friends had thousands of cows to tend. The boys were very beautiful and they were in a very playful mood. Each of them was equipped with a lunch bag, bugle, flute, and a stick for controlling the cows. Of course, because Krishna is unlimited, his cows were also of an unlimited number. Now, just like Trinavarta had also used his Mahima Siddhi, the demons usually try to use that in order to create illusion. That's why one day the demon Aghasura utilized the Mahima Siddhi by assuming a form of a huge python. As we just read, the Krishna and his friends are on his way to this particular site where Aghasura utilized the Mahima Siddhi by assuming the form of huge python, as big as a mountain and 13 kilometers long. He opened his mouth wide like a big mountain cave as he lay down on the path in the hopes of swallowing all the boys. And then they are coming. The cowherd boys walked right into the Aghasura's mouth along with all the cows. This is amazing. And then Krishna was always with them. And that's why Krishna also entered Aghasura's mouth. Upon seeing this, demigods who were hiding behind the clouds exclaimed, "Oh, what has happened?" While the demons like Kansa were jubilant, when Krishna heard the demigod's exclamation, he began to enlarge himself within Aghasura's throat. In response, the demons also extended his size. This was futile. However, and as Aghasura was suffocating, his breathing stopped and his eyes popped out of their sockets. The demon's life air became unable to pass out from any outlet. Finally, burst through the top of his head. So this is very dramatic. That Aghasura is a 13-kilometer long python. And all the cowherd boys with the cows and everything, including Krishna, entered his throat. And then, when everyone were trapped in the mouth of Aghasura, Krishna decided to use his yoga. Anima, Mahima, Girima, Lagima, Prapti, Prakyayame, Ishita, Vashita, so many siddhis he has. He is a Yogeshwar himself. So, he started enlarging his body. Just like you have flat balloons, which is a small little size. And when you pump the air in it, it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It can become so big sometimes that people travel through the balloon, right? You see up in the sky, the balloon is going, 4 passengers are there. And they're viewing the mountains and the rivers and towns and the cities and skyscrapers, beautiful clouds and whatnot, right? This can be done. So, it's a science, it's air. So, when Krishna enlarged himself within Aghasura's body, Aghasura could only extend his body up to certain. But then it burst open. The demon's life air, being unable to pass out from any outlet, finally burst through the top of his head. Now this is again a science we will be, if possible, we will go through. But in our body, what happens that there are 7 centers. And the last center is right here, Shishumar chakra. Also these are chakra based discs. So right starting from down below, they have a Muladhara chakra disc. And on top, the 7th one is the Shishumar chakra. So when all the outlets are blocked, our nose is blocked, because the pressure inside will block this right away. The ears are blocked, the eyes are blocked, the extracting part, right, is blocked. Any genital or any other openings in your body, they are all blocked. When everything is blocked, then even the soul can go through, will have to go out of Shishumar chakra. So because of all the precious, Aghasura's soul went out of that top of the head. So again, we see that Krishna's business was to deliver all the demons. Now there is a little history we have to know, because everyone know the pastimes of Kaliya snake, that Krishna was playing a ball along the bank of the Yamuna river, but then the ball fell into the river, and when Krishna tried to get it back, at that time what happens, that the Kaliya, who was a very poisonous snake, he started capturing Krishna, and they had a fight. And in that encounter between Kaliya and Krishna, Krishna captured Kaliya. So, by drinking that particular part of the river, Krishna was able to see a lot of cows were dying, a lot of birds were dying, a lot of other animals who will come to drink water of Jamuna will die. But how he ended up at that particular spot, that is a very interesting story. And let's go through that one. Long ago, Garuda used to come to Nagalaya and kill many snakes. Just like a Himalaya, Him means ice, Alaya means mountain. Similar, there was a certain part of the world where Naga means snake, Alaya means that full of mountain was filled with snakes. And Garuda will come and eat those snakes because that's his food. Now listen, the Garuda is a carrier of Lord Sri Vishnu. It's not an ordinary soul, right? It's in a direct service of the Supreme Person. So who could stop him? So he will go to the Naga Lok and try to have serpents in his breakfast, in his lunch, in his snacks, in his supper, in his dinner. So what happened? Garuda used to come to Naga and kill many snakes for food, and some he killed needlessly. When he used to come, he would also kill so many extra snakes which he may not even bother to eat. Vasuki approached Lord Brahma. So the representative of all the serpents, Vasuki Nag, he approached Lord Brahma, who then arranged that twice a month on the half moon days, one snake would be offered to Garuda. So Brahma says to Vasuki that we should have some quota because the Garuda also has to eat. But instead of just eating haphazardly, we should work out some kind of schedule. So he said, twice a month on the half moon days, one snake would be offered to Garuda, who in return would not harm any of the other serpents. Okay, Garuda has permission to come there twice a month to eat one snake every time he comes. However, the arrogant Kaliya, who was the son of Kadru, began to eat all the offerings before Garuda would come to claim them. Now, just imagine that the Kaliya snake was also one of them. But just like a big fish eats little fish, And that's the natural law. Similarly, Kaliya among them was so strong among all the snakes that when he heard that now Garuda will come and eat the offering, before even Garuda comes, the Kaliya will come and start eating snakes. So when Garuda came looking, they say, what happened? We already gave you the offering. He said, no, I didn't receive. So who took it? It was Kaliya. So that is why, however, the arrogant Kaliya, who was the son of Kadru, began to eat all the offerings before Garuda would come to claim them. When Garuda came to hear about this, he became very angry, desiring to kill Kaliya. He rushed at the serpent with tremendous speed. As Garuda fell upon him, Kaliya, whose weapon is poison, raised his numerous heads to counterattack, while displaying his flanks and expanding his horrible eyes. Kaliya bit Garuda. Then, as Garuda swiftly moved to repel the attack, he struck Kaliya with his left wing, which shone like gold. This blow overpowered Kaliya, who then took shelter in the lake adjoining the river Yamuna. So, when Garuda almost killed Kaliya, Kaliya realized that there is no way I can fight any longer with Garuda. He took shelter in the lake near this Yamuna river. So this is how he happened to come to the Yamuna river and started living with his family. This was the history of Garuda. So, in an encounter between Kaliya and Krishna, Krishna captured Kaliya, and this is a very famous story. Actually, Kaliya and Garuda are originally related as brothers. According to Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Kaliya has indicated to Krishna, if you ever have to go to distant place, you should also think of me as your courier. In the wink of an eye, I can travel hundreds of yojans. Thus, the Puranas mention that sometimes in the course of Krishna's eternal cycle of pastimes, when Kansa ordered him to come to Mathura, the Lord goes there mounted upon Kaliya. So, Garuda is flying in the sky, but here it is said that Kaliya also have the same strength and same kind of, because they were brothers. So, then taking the Lord's permission, taking the permission of Lord Sri Krishna, Kaliya circumambulated him and offered obeisances and then departed for his island within the sea. As soon as Kaliya left, the Yamuna was restored to its original condition, free of all poison, by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Krishna again delivered one more demon. So, these are the poisonous people. One day, as the boys were tending the cows in this way, the demon Pralamba entered within the midst, disguising as a cowherd boy who had stayed home that day. Krishna immediately understood this, but he pretended to accept the demon as a friend, while at the same time considering how to kill him. So one of the boys was absent. So this demon named Pralamba, he assumed that particular friend's form. It looked like him. And then he entered among Krishna's friends. Krishna then called the boys, saying, "Come, it's play. We will divide ourselves into two equal teams. The boys chose Krishna and Balaram as the leaders of the two teams. Some joined Krishna's side, while others joined Balaram's. The boys then paired off to fight, and the losers had to carry the winners on their backs. While being carried by one another and at the same time tending the cows, the boys followed Krishna to a banyan tree known as Badrikara, which was so dense and large that it resembled a cloud sitting upon earth. When Sridhama, Vrishabha, and the other members of the Lord Balaram's party came out victorious, Krishna and his followers had to carry them. Krishna carried Sridham, Bhadrasan, and carried Vrishabha, and Pralamba carried Balaram. Considering Krishna to be inconceivable, Pralamba quickly carried Balaram far away and out of sight. Because he was a demon, he was able to carry Balaram far away. But as Pralambasur carried Balaram, the Lord became very heavy as Mount Sumeru, thus forcing the demon to slow down. Pralamba then had to revert his actual form, an effulgent body covered with golden ornaments that resembles a cloud flashing with lightning, and carrying the moon. Seeing the gigantic demon moving swiftly in the sky with blazing eyes, fiery hair, and terrible teeth, Balaram seemed to become a little frightened. Quickly, remembering the real situation, Balaram became furious and struck the demon's head with his hard fist. Pralamba's head immediately cracked open. He vomited blood from his mouth and lost all the consciousness as he fell down dead with a great sound onto the ground like a mountain devastated by Indra. The cowherd boys were astonished to see how Balaram had killed the demon. So it was not just the mission of Lord Sri Krishna, but also it was a mission of Lord Sri Krishna to deliver all these demons sent by Krishna before he kills Krishna. Lord Krishna then said, "My dear father, our home is not in a city or a town. We are dwellers of the forests and hills. Therefore, let's have some ceremony." So now we are coming to the celebration that we just had, which is known as a worship of Govardhan Hill or Govardhan Puja Day. So, Nanda Maharaj used to usually do the worship of Indra, but instead of doing worship of Indra, Krishna is suggesting to worship Govardhana. Upon hearing this, Nanda Maharaj agreed to perform a separate sacrifice as Krishna desired. Krishna then instructed, "Let many kinds of cooked foods be prepared, and whatever milk products are available should be utilized. Let the qualified Brahmanas begin preparing at once. The Brahmanas should be very nicely fed and rewarded with gifts of cows. Then all others should be given food, even the dogs and dog eaters, and the grass should be given to the cows. After everyone has eaten to his full satisfaction, everyone should decorate themselves gorgeously and circumambulate the cows, the Brahmanas, the fire sacrifices, fires, and Govardhan Hill itself." We have Govardhan Hill right here sitting in the middle of the temple. "O Father, this is my proposal. and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. Such a sacrifice will greatly please the cows, the Brahmanas, Govardhan Hill, and me as well. When Nanda Maharaj and other elderly cowherdmen heard Lord Krishna's statements, they accepted them as a proper and then did all that he had suggested, utilizing things that had been intended for Indra's sacrifice. The cowherdmen worshipped Govardhan Hill and the Brahmanas with great respect. Lord Krishna then said, just see how this hill has appeared in person. When they put all the offerings there, and then when they put all the paraphernalias around it and started worshipping, and Brahmanas and everybody going around it, pradakshina, right, circumambulating them, and the place became so lively that Krishna said, just see how this hill has appeared in person and is bestowing mercy upon us. This Govardhan Hill, assuming any form he wishes, will kill any residents of the forest that neglects him. So it's very important that Govardhan Hill has a power. If you neglect, then he is displeased. Therefore, let us offer our obeisances to him and for safety of ourselves and our cows. Finally, after the completion of the Govardhan Puja, all the members of the cowherd community returned to that village, Vraja. When Lord Indra understood that his sacrifice had been cancelled, instead of that it offered to Govardhan Hill, he became furious with Nanda Maharaj and other cowherd men for accepting Krishna as their Lord. Indra then told the clouds, the people of Vrindavan have become mad with pride, and this has been further aggravated by Krishna. Go now and cut down their false pride by destroying all their animals. The earth soon became flooded, so that high grounds could now be seen, distinguished from low. The cows with bowed heads and cows kept underneath their bodies, the other animals shivering from rain and wind, and the cowherd man and woman pained by the cold, all approach Lord Govinda for shelter. So now Indra, is in charge of the rain and clouds. He's sending a lot of clouds to that region, and a lot of lightning and a lot of rain, a lot of winds, hurricanes, tornadoes, and everybody started suffering. Lord Krishna then picked up Govardhan Hill with his left hand, just as easily as child holds up aloft a mushroom. He then said, Mother Yashoda, Father Nanda Baba, residents of Vrajavasis, if you wish, you may come under this hill with your cows. Do not fear that the hill will fall from my hand, and do not be afraid of the rain, for your deliverance has already been arranged. So he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He lifted Govardhan Hill, asked not only his parents, but everyone living in Vrindavan, all the Brijvasis, including that cows, they enter under the hill. When Indra observed this display of Krishna's inconceivable potency, lifting the hill, the mountain, is not an ordinary task. This is great. You have to be a supreme, otherwise how is it possible? So when Indra observed this display of Krishna's inconceivable potency, he became most astonished. Pulled down from the platform of false pride and his intentions thwarted, Indra ordered the clouds to desist. Seeing that the fierce wind and rain had ceased, the sky had become clear, and the sun was shining, Lord Krishna said, "My dear cowherd man, please go out now, along with your wives, children, and possessions. Don't be afraid. The rain has stopped and the flood has subsided." So this is wonderful pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. Now, what happened that Krishna and Balaram were invited by Kansa to have a fight. So, one of the fighters' name was Charuna. Kansa Charuna Mardanam, we always chant that, right? So how he took care of Kansa as well as Charuna. Now comes the Mardan part. Charuna said, "You are not really just a child, and neither is Balaram." Actually, they were children. But because he heard all these pastimes from Lord Shri Krishna, that all the demons that they were sent by Kansa were actually killed by Krishna. And that time, Charuna was convinced that Krishna is not a child. So he says, "You are not really just a child and neither Balaram. After all, you playfully killed an elephant that had been strains of 1,000 ordinary elephants. Therefore, you should fight with powerful wrestlers, and there is nothing unfair about that. You can now show your prowess against me, and Balaram can fight with Mustika." So there was another Asur or demon named Mustika Asur. So they went, since Krishna and Balaram were invited to fight. What happened then? Thereafter, 3 blows of Lord Krishna's fists fell like lightning bolts upon Charuna's body. Krishna went up to Charuna, and only 3 fists, 1, 2, and 3, the 3 blows of Lord Krishna's fists fell like lightning bolts upon Charuna's body, causing him great pain. Becoming furious, Charuna made a final attempt to pouncing upon Krishna, striking him in chest with both fists joined together. Krishna was not disturbed in the least, however, and he caught Charuna by a hand and began whirling him around, so that simply by the centrifugal force the wrestler died. So what he did, he holds his hand and he goes him round and round and round, whirling. And because of the centrifugal force, the Charuna died. That's how the Krishna was so strong. Meanwhile, Mustika struck Balaram with great force. But when Balaram responded with a violent blow with the palm of his hand, Mustika began to tremble all over with his pain. Then, while vomiting blood, he fell down dead on the ground, like a tree knocked over by the strong wind. Other wrestlers then came to fight. Being attacked by Kuta, Balaram nonchalantly killed him with a blow from his left fist. Krishna kicked the wrestler Shala in the head with his toes, breaking it into the house. Then he dealt with the wrestler Toshala in the same manner. At this point, the remaining wrestlers fled in fear. Krishna and Balaram then summoned the cowherd boys, who quickly came and surrounded them, congratulating the two lords while dancing and sporting to the accompaniment of the musical instruments, except for Kansa, who everyone in the audience rejoiced, clapping. Seeing how his best wrestlers have been killed, Kansa ordered that the drums being beaten to celebrate Krishna's victory be stopped. Kansa then commanded, "Drive these two wicked sons of Vasudeva out of city," confiscated all the property of cowherd man, and arrest that fool Nanda. Kill that evil fool Vasudeva, and also kill my father Ugrasen, along with his followers, for they have all sides with enemies. Kansa became very angry. While hearing Kansa rave like this, within an instant he jumped over Kansa's guards onto the royal platform. Kansa was prepared for this. However, taking out his sword, he began to whirl it madly left and right, up and down, this way and that way. Nevertheless, Krishna grabbed Kansa just like Garuda might pounce upon a snake. When Kansa seized Kansa by the hair, the crowd was knocked off the head. Krishna then dragged Kansa down from his elevated throne, and as the king was lying upon the wrestling mat, the Lord steadied his chest and began striking him again and again with the fist. Simply by the blows of Krishna's fist, Kansa gave up his life. Then as the lion drags the dead elephant, Krishna dragged Kansa's dead body along the ground in full view of everyone present, just to assure his parents. This arose a tumultuous roar on the sides, as some expressed their jubilant, while others were lamentation. Kansa's 8 younger brothers, headed by Kanka, next attacked Krishna in a rage, seeking revenge because they were his maternal uncles. Krishna ordered Balaram to kill them, which he easily did with the help of his club. At this time, drums were heard sounding in the sky, and the demigods rained flowers on Krishna with great pleasure. As the demigods chanted his praises, their wives danced. Krishna's wives and brothers then came and embraced the dead bodies of their husbands. Kansa's wives came. Overwhelmed with grief, they were crying loudly and beating their forehead with their fists. These ladies cried out. They were crying for Kansa. "Oh, my master, oh, dear one, by your being killed, we have also been slain. Bereft of you, this city has lost its beauty, just as we have, and all good fortune has come to an end. O dear one, you have been brought to this state because of the terrible violence you committed against innocent creatures. How can one who harm others attain happiness? Taking compassion upon them, Krishna consoled his aunts as far as possible and arranged for the funeral rites to be performed. Krishna and Balaram then released their mother and father from the bondage and offered obeisances to them by touching their heads to their feet. So after all, Krishna was son of Devaki and Vasudeva, and that is why he offered the obeisances to them. Knowing Krishna and Balaram to be the lords of universe, however, Vasudeva and Devaki did not embraced them in turn, but simply stood there with folded hands. So these are the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. And we are going from different sections to sections because these are the 18 books. And if you open them up, they have different titles. And different sections are divided according to the purpose of the book. So, first part is called creation, then comes sub-creation, then comes planetary system, the next part is called protection, the next part is called creative impetus, there is a whole section of manus, then there is a science of God, and there is a very important section called going back to Godhead, and then Samambonam. In Sanskrit, they have different titles. Just like in Bhagavad-Gita, like first chapter to the last chapter, they have like Arjuna Vishad Yoga and all that kind of titles. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also have, all these books have that own titles, and they are given as in Sanskrit, Sarga, Visarga, Sthana, Poshana, Uti, Vasana, Manvantara, Ishanu Katha, Nirodha, Mukti, Ashraya. So these are the different sections labeled right in front of the book, and that whatever section you are interested in, you can refer. So mainly we were interested in pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. So today we focus on the pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. There is also a few more things that we should be knowing along with the knowledge of pastimes of Lord Shri Krishna. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, actions of anger, and the urges of tongue, belly, and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. So, just like I am sitting here on a Vyasasana, you could also do that. And speak to people, read these books. You don't have to come to the temple in your home. You can have a little altar of Lord Shri Krishna. You can exhibit this, all the 18 volumes of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. You can sit down on the floor and make your children and family members sitting in front of you in your living room or in your bedroom or in the library, wherever, or in a backyard or in your terrace, wherever you have space. Only thing you have to know that a sober person who can tolerate the urges to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger and urge of the tongue, belly and genitals, is qualified to make disciples all over the world. Once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in following his activities, eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required. When you accumulate it, then it comes in your devotional service. Over-rendering for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. You endure, yes, but over-enduring for the mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, that will come in your way. Talking unnecessary about mundane subject matters. Yes, we are talking. Sometimes we have to also talk about mundane things during the pravachan, during Bhagavatam reading. But for giving example, it's okay. But otherwise, 99% we should be doing Krishna Katha. then practicing the scripture rules and regulation only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of the scriptures and working independently or whimsically, that will interrupt you. It will not help you, right? And then associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. So, there may be some people, if you invite him that, oh, we have saptāha going on for 7 days, you come and say, oh, who has got time? I have to go here, I have to go there. They are not interested. So, you should not be even associating with those non-devotees. Devotees are those who have faith in Krishna, who are the worshipper of Krishna, who are interested in Krishna consciousness and this kind of saptāha. Being greedy for the mundane achievements. There are all kinds of attractions, right? You get a big name, right? If you do something, your name will be in Guinness Book, World Record. Well, what's the use of it, right? Fame, everyone knows you, right? Try to influence other people, ask for their votes, right? Collect their favors without doing any favors to them. So the thing is that mundane achievements will not ever help you. There are 6 principles favorable to execution of pure devotional service. Being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulatory principles such as Shravan, Kirtan, Vishnu Smaranam, hearing, chanting and remembering Krishna. And then abandoning association of non-devotees, following the footsteps of previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. So, again going back, number 1 is being enthusiastic. You should always be enthusiastic. Second, endeavoring with confidence. Have confidence, yes, I can do that. I can go back to Godhead, right? Right in this life, I don't have to come back to the material world over and over and entangle in the cycle of birth and death. Being patient. Patience is very important. So, they say that if you can walk on the edge of the sword is very sharp. It can cut you in 2 pieces. But the path of a devotee is like walking on the edge of the sword. It's not easy. And that is why you have to have a lot of patience and you have to follow all the regulatory principles recommended in the scriptures, and then abandon the association of the non-devotees, and last thing is following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Whatever Srila Prabhupada did, that his initiated disciples are doing, and their initiated disciples make other disciples, and they are also following the footsteps of Srila Prabhupada. And Srila Prabhupada also follows in the footsteps of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj following the footsteps of Babaji Maharaj. And Babaji Maharaj is following footsteps of, Bhakti Vinod Thakur. And then there is a Jagannath Babaji, who is the spiritual master of Bhakti Vinod Thakur. He is even following the footsteps of Jagannath Das Babaji. So this way you have to follow the footsteps of previous Acharya, and that is known as a Guru Parampara. Offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentiality, accepting prasad, and offering prasad are 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee to the other. It's a very beautiful injunction. How to deal with other devotees. When you are a devotee and when you see other devotee, what will you do? How will you deal with him? What are the criteria? That's why it says here, offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentiality, accepting prasad, and offering prasad are the 6 symptoms of love shared by one devotee to the another. And then finally, it says, one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Sri Krishna. One should offer humble obeisances to the devotees who has undergone spiritual initiation diksha and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with the faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service, and those whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. And it's not easy to achieve this final state that we are talking about. Completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. And once we do that, then we made it. So this is how this particular scripture is trying to teach us. It was never ever easy, even for self-realized souls who has put all these scriptures in our hands. For example, Maharishi Vedvyas, he had a Veda which Lord Krishna taught to Lord Brahma. But he had to divide that Veda into 4 different Vedas, because tunde matir bhinna, everyone doesn't have the same intelligence to understand that particular one book called Veda. That's why, according to everyone's absorption intellectually, he divided this particularly, this one book Veda into 4 Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, and Atharvaveda. The conclusions were also different. One's conclusion was Pragnanam Brahma. Another conclusion was Aham Brahmasmi. Another conclusion was Tatmasi. And 4th conclusion, I am Atma Brahman. So Rigveda says, Pragnanam Brahman, our intelligence, that's Krishna. Who else is Krishna? What else is Krishna consciousness? If you don't have intelligence enough, it will be very, very hard for you to absorb and become Krishna conscious. So Pragnanam Brahma, right? And then Yajurveda says, Aham Brahmasmi, right? Ultimately, we are all part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is Aham Brahmasmi. And then Samaveda says, Tatma Asi, Tattam Asi. What you are talking about, that Supreme, is nothing but you. Krishna is like a fire, but then there is a spark of a fire you can see in the air sometimes, right? Bouncing from the fire. Is that you? You are just separated somehow from Krishna. Otherwise, you are just of the same quality that Krishna has. So we are all part and parcel of Krishna. Tattvamasi. And finally, Atharvaveda say, I am Atma Brahma. It comes back to the soul. Next to the soul, there is a spirit soul, right? Paramatma, Paramatma. There is Karanodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Kshirodakshaya Vishnu. That Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is in our heart and It's like two birds sitting on a branch of a tree. Atma, our individual Atma or soul, is busy enjoying this material world. Whatever is there we eat, whatever is there we feel and try to enjoy. And the other bird, who is Paramatma himself, super soul, is just witnessing and looking at our activity, that what a miserable condition is this, that this beautiful world which is designed to get out of this particular place by serving Lord Krishna in one single human lifetime, people are just wasting in enjoying this material world and going into cycle of birth and death of 8,400,000 species of life. So, my friends, here Lord Radha Krishna is relishing the offering offered by the Pujari and is going to prepare for the Aarti continuously, 24 hours we should say, that Lord Krishna is served as a person, starting from 3:45 in the morning and putting him at the rest at 9 o'clock at night. Pujaris are offering them avahana, asana, padya, argya, achmaniya, snana, vastra, upavita, gandha, pushpa, dhupa, deepa, naivedya, tambula, pradakshina, dakshina, etc. Up in the kitchen in deity room over there, 6 times they cook fresh offering, 6 times. The initiated Brahmanas are supposed to cook even this Rajbhog and everything, every offering. 6 times we feed Krishna, 6 times we feed Prabhupada. 6 times we offer Aarti on top of Tulsi Aarti, Guru Aarti and all that. So, this is a wonderful opportunity to serve Krishna. Sometimes it is not easy, very easy. I'll tell you why. Because we just talked about Maharishi Vedvyas and how he separated 4 Vedas. So, in those days there were different schools and very intellectual sages. They were scientists, of course, and literally very advanced people. They could understand Maharishi Vedvyas. He was the incarnation of the Lord, and they were associating with him, learning from him, helping him and serving him. So, Maharishi Vedvyas, when he finished Rigveda, he called Paila Muni, and he says, Maharishi Pail, you are in charge of the Rigveda. Go through this Rigveda that I have taken as a script, as a cream of this particular book, and separated it from the rest of the Vedas. I have made 4 divisions. One of them I call it Rigveda. And the conclusion is Pragnanam Brahmam. And you go through that page by page and teach it in your school and prepare Rigvedis. Right? Similarly, he called Vaishampayan. The Vaishampayan sage is in charge of the Yajurveda. So he said that, my dear Vaishampayan, you are going to be in charge of Yajurveda. Please learn it thoroughly. The conclusion of that Veda is Aham Brahmasmi, and teach it to rest of the world. Then he called Angira Rushi to teach the Atharva Veda, and the conclusion was I am Atma Brahman, and he says, in your school you must have this course and teach them Atharva Veda. So it's not that every school will pick up Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva. Different schools will have different focuses. But ultimately, they will be asked to learn rest of the Vedas also. Because if you want to visit this building, this is just one part of the building. There is another part of the building which is downstairs, and we have kitchen and a restaurant. So we always invite you to go to downstairs to the restaurant. So similarly, all the students of the school were advised to go and learn the rest of the Vedas. The interesting story about the Samaveda was that Gemini was asked to learn this particular Samaveda, whose final conclusion was Tattvamasi. And Maharishi Vedvyas gave this particular book called Yajurveda, explain him and ask him to read, be familiar, and to go through it, understand it properly, and teach it to his students in his school. So, while looking at the book, in few moments only, while flipping the pages, the Gemini, sage Gemini, he realized that there was one sentence Maharishi Vedvyas wrote, and that sentence was, Indriyani balat karshati gnani janaha. So, he thought that this particular sentence is a very hard kind of language. Indriyani balat karshati gnani janaha. Because he was one of the grand self-realized person. Intellectual, the most intelligent person, say. And Indriyani, the senses. Since self-realized soul first captures the senses, understands, studies the senses, how senses are working. So, he thought the gnani people, the intellectual people, they can dominate the senses. The senses have no dominion upon the gnanis. So, ultimately, these people are speculators. Prabhupada used to call it mental speculators. Without experiencing the life, you cannot challenge the scriptures. So when we say that Maharishi, I would like to put a question next to your sentence here that we say, Indriyani balat karshati gnani janaha. Does senses dominate them? Those who are gnani will say, no, how can? The people who are normal, who are not potent, who cannot compete the Indriyas, who cannot study what Indriyas do, how to control them, those who are not yogi, those who have not studied the yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahara, dhyana, dhyana, samadhi, those people will always say, yes, the Indriyas can dominate them, right? They can attract them. But the rest of them is no. We are gnanis. We are learned people. We have read Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. We have studied all the Puranas, right? So, how can we go wrong? Maharishi Vedvyas says, Maharishi Gemini, I would request that you are just holding the book at this moment in your hand. Try to read it, go through it thoroughly, and then try to change it. Whatever changes you want to make, I will make it, no problem, I promise you. I am not trying to debate you, but please go home, take this home, read it nicely, and then preach it to your students. So Gemini went home. When he went home, near his gate, he found the clouds all of a sudden came in the sky. The wind came very strongly, lightning, darkness, and thunderstorms. Very, very heavy rain. The rain started pouring like dogs and cats. So, Jenny saw a beautiful girl standing near his gate, taking shelter of a tree. Maharishi Jenny thought that this is a very deadly game because shivering in this kind of thunder can kill a delicate body. She is not used to be outside like this. And even if you are used to, this storm is so strong that it can affect your body and give you cold and some kind of disease permanently. That is why he invited that girl that, mother, if you don't mind, please come inside. My room is warm. You can change your clothes, put on anything that you find in my ashram. And when it's calmed down, I have an umbrella, I will drop you home. So the girl decided to go in the ashram of Jaini Rishi. Now the sage started looking at that, what the job, the chore, the very important assignment given by Maharishi Vyasa. He wanted him to go through this particular Yajurveda, whose bottom line was Tattvamasi, that is you, none other than you. Right? So, suddenly he opened his eyes, and from the shower room, this girl that he brought in the ashram, he was wrapping herself with a garment. The sage usually prefers saffron color, so she was all wrapped up in saffron. So sage, when he opened his eyes, could not believe. Basically, natural look of that girl, the beauty of that girl was very fascinating, very attractive figures. On top of it, she was wearing saffron. So, the impression she was giving was some kind of celestial personality, as if some apsara came from Swargalok, from heavens, and she looked so beautiful. Gemini was actually attracted by that woman, and he asked her to sit near the fire, warm herself up, and then open the dialogue. And he proposed that, would you like to marry me? So the girl says, I have no problem. I could always marry anybody. The only problem is that my married friends ask me that when it comes to the marriage or betrothal or proposal or any stage of engagement, don't get into it right away. Don't jump into it. So Gemini says, yes, that's right. They are perfectly okay. They are experienced people. But someday you will have to jump into this decision. If you really feel that this is the time, this is age for you to marry, then let's marry. So the woman says, they have also asked me to taste the person who is proposing. Gemini says, you don't know me. I am saying, Gemini, you asked me this area. My school is best known in the world. Hundreds and thousands of students I have. And I teach them. And look, I am having this particular Yajurveda, Maharishi Ved-Vyasa assigned me to go through the pages and make any corrections. So you don't worry about anything you want to take me, any kind of subject. I know everything. I'm a self-realized person. I'm Gnani Purush. So the woman says, well, I believe you. But I'm trying to tell you that the test is very simple. Jami says, what is the test? So the test is that, first of all, you have to color your face with the ash from the fire sacrifice. Mix it with ghee and make your face black like a monkey. Jani says every single day in the morning, I do the fire sacrifice, and we have plenty of ash and ghee. So he made a beautiful monkey face, and he said, how do I do? That was the taste. She says, yeah, part of the taste, 50% is over. The next part of the taste is that you bend down, put your hands on the ground, on the legs, and you walk with those 4 legs like a horse, like a donkey, and carry me on your shoulder and take me around your country. The Jimmy says, that seems simple. I'm a very strong man, and you are a very delicate girl. I can pick you up on my neck, on my shoulders, or on my back, and take you around. No problem. So he put his hands on the ground and became like a donkey or a horse. And then the girl was sitting on top of Jenny. So, meanwhile, somebody is trying to knock on the doors. And Jenny says, who must be this? Middle of the night, it's late night. There is a thunderstorm going on outside. And Jenny asked, who is this? And a very grave voice came. And he said, this is Maharishi Ved-Vyasa. He said, Maharishi, I just left your home. And it's raining. Maharishi said, don't worry, I got umbrella. And I'm safe and sound. So please, I came to see you. But Jenny says, Maharaj, this is not the time to see me. I'm in the middle of something. I'm sorry. I cannot open the door. Can I see you in the morning, first thing in the morning? He said, yes. He said, what's so special? Why you come so late? He says, because I was afraid that the sentence that you were talking about, Indriyani Bharat Gnani Janaha, I don't see any dispute. I find senses are so strong, and Gnani people, the people who are knowledgeable and learned, they have no even idea about the strength of the senses, the eyes, the nose, the ears, the skin, the genital. It can take you anywhere. You don't know how strong they are. So I don't want you to change it. Jami said, no, Maharaj. That was a history. When I mentioned that comment to you, that's no longer existing. Now I know senses are very, very strong. Senses can make you monkey. Senses can make you a donkey. Senses can make you a horse. And you take the passengers from your back and go around your ashram. Maharishi Vidya said, what are you talking about? Donkeys and monkeys and all that. It's don't worry. Maharishi, can I talk to you in the morning? I'm in the middle of something. He didn't say that there is a girl, I'm a learned scholar, and I think I have captured the senses, I can control the senses, but I am in the middle of Maya. That senses has captured me, and she made me make a black face like a monkey. She asked me to become
an animal like a donkey and horse, and now carrying her around the ashram. He was really ashamed of what he was doing, but he had no choice. The senses are so strong. So, this is what we have to learn out of these beautiful pictures, beautiful the scriptures that we have exhibited here. There are 18 books. This Bhagavad Purana contains so many beautiful stories and injunctions that we must be following every moment. Otherwise, we end up like Janani. Of course, later on he got married. He was grusty. There is nothing wrong to be grusty. There is nothing wrong in getting married. There is nothing wrong in making children. But as long as the wife is Krishna conscious, the children are Krishna conscious, the family and friends are Krishna conscious, that's all perfect. And this is what is taught by this particular book. Finally we pray, Karar Vindena Padarvindam, Mukhar Vinde Viveshyantam, Vardasya Patrasya Pudeshanam, Balam Mukundam, Manasas Smaranam. Narayan Paravida, Deva Narayan Angaja, Narayan Paraluka, Narayan Paramaka, Narayan Parayogo, Narayan Paramtapa, Narayan Paramgnanam, Narayan Paramati, Vasudeva Paraveda, Vasudeva Paramakaha, Vasudeva Parayoga, Vasudeva Paramakriya, Vasudeva Paramgnanam, Vasudeva Paramtapa, Vasudeva Parodharmo, Vasudeva Paramgati. Here it is said, Asare samsare Vishaya Vishesandatuladhiya Kshanadam Khematam Pibata Shukagatha Tulasudam Kimartham Yarthambo Vrajat Upate Kutsitapate Parikshita Sakhi Yatasravanagatamukti Yukti Kathan. This material world can only offer you poison through your senses. Right? Such great scholar, but in a fraction of a second, you can fall down from a status. What is the use of it? You have to understand that the senses are poisons. This material world can only offer you poison through your senses. Instead, drink nectar of Krishna Katha. King Parikshit achieved the highest position. That is the proof. Then why do you waste time and still wandering around in useless and senseless paths of darkness? This is the question that Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is asking. It is a proof that Parikshit Raja was liberated listening to Krishna Katha for 7 days. My friends, we are also listening Krishna Katha for last 6 days. Tomorrow is the last day. If you are not attending so far, please from tomorrow, 10:30 in the morning, please come and attend Krishna Katha for the last day. Because there is more to talk about Krishna, more to get his blessing from Krishna as well as from Śrīmad Prabhupada. So finally we pray, Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhino, Sarve Santu Nirāmaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kashya Apne Nato. If you come in the morning, Just like you are witnessing the arti on the altar, similarly, you can also witness the arti around 7:15 or 7:30 in the morning and witness our greetings of the deities. And that time we play and sing a beautiful prayer for Lord Sri Krishna. Right now, the Rajguru Arti is going on, but we will sing the verses from Brahma Samhita which are being chanted during the greetings deities. Chintamani prakarasadma sukalpa vruksha lakshaviteshu sukabhira vipalayantam Lakshmi sahasra shatasam brahmasedyamana Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajam Venukwanantaravindalayakasham Barhavatam samsanda sundaram Kandarvakoti kamaniya vishesha shobham Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajam Alola chandra kala sadhyanam alyavoshi Ratnagadam pranakelikala vilasam Shyam trivanga lalitam yata prakasham Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajam Anganyasya sakalendriya vrittimanti Pashyanti pandikalayanti chiram jaganti Ananda chinmaya sadujvala vigrahasya Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajam Advaitamachyutam anadi anantarupam Ajam purana purusham nayovanam cha Vedeshu durlabhamatma bhakto Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami Govindamadipurusham tamaham bhajami. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. I worship Govinda, the primal Lord, who is adept in playing on his flute, with blooming eyes like lotus petals, with hair bedecked with peacock feather, with the figure of beauty tinged with the hue of blue clouds, and his unique loveliness charming millions of cupids. The reason is because while art is going on, you can look at Govinda and have his blessings. I worship Radha Govinda, the primal Lord, whose transcendental form is full of bliss, truth and substantiality, and is thus full of most dazzling splendor. Each of the limbs of the transcendental figure possesses in himself the full-fledged functions of all the organs and internal seas, mountains, and manifests the infinite universe, both spiritual and material. So after the arati, usually we sing Namaste Narasimha. Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste Narasimhaya. Prahlad Narasimhaya. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. So today was the 6th day of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Tomorrow we will be starting at 10:30 in the morning up to this time, but that will be the last day. Please try to join. Tell your friends and family members. You can watch on either Facebook or YouTube or any of the source you have. Please try to watch it on your laptop or your cell phone or whatever you have. Please, thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
बंद करो क्या
Very good.